Welcome back, everyone, to Betsson Group Live. So for you who are just joining us, this is a video series where you will hear from real employees at Betsson Group speaking about their experiences and sharing their insights of working at Betsson Group. And before we dive into today's episode, I just want to remind you that if you have questions, you can ask your questions in the live chat, and our HR team will be ready to answer your questions live during the broadcast. So today I have with me a very special guest. Her name is Corinne Valletta, and she is the General Counsel at Betsson Group. So welcome, Corinne.
Thank you, Alice.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
So what is it that you do at Betsson Group? What does a General Counsel do?
I am in charge for all legal and compliance matters. So I'm advising the business, the CEO and the rest of the business on anything to do with legal affairs. As an internationally regulated business, that obviously has really big repercussions, right? Because we've got basic laws that apply to any commercial business. And then there's the specific gaming laws that are applying to the business as well. So we're advising on all customer and business transactions that are being done on a daily basis. And very importantly, we're taking care of the different licenses which the group holds. Of course, I keep saying, we. I mean, obviously, this is all based on my team, right? I mean, we're doing this all together. Without them, I'd be very lonely.
And you mentioned being compliant. Why is it important for Betsson Group to be compliant? And what does that mean in practice?
Yeah, that's actually a really easy question in the sense that because we are a regulated business, because we hold licenses, those licenses are privileges, right? I mean, if we don't comply with our licenses, quite simply, we lose them. I mean, obviously, that is an extreme case, but I guess it's really, easy for a person who doesn't really understand what compliance is to understand why it is important at least, right? Because without that license, we cannot operate. Obviously, short of, losing your license is there's also the risk of fines, and that's something we want to stay away from as a group. I mean, we want to uphold our reputation as a as a responsible and socially responsible operator. And above all, we want to protect our customers. We want to prevent our business from being subjected to crime. We want to make sure that our customers' data is adequately protected. That's just, a couple of examples. Yeah. As I said, we are actually a regulated business as well. So it's really, there are the different regulations which are applying, both the specific gaming ones, there are the horizontal ones, so there's the anti-money laundering type of rules where we're basically preventing our business from crime, there's data privacy, there's consumer protection. I mean, I can go on and on. There's a lot there. Exactly. And we also, I should mention that we hold licenses in 17 different markets. So we're keeping up with the different regulations in the different markets as well, which are always developing and getting stricter, I would say.
Yeah. And what do you enjoy the most about your role as General Counsel, would you say?
I would say that I think it's the fact that it is a supportive role. So that gives us the opportunity to actually see the business from many different angles, because we need to get into every aspect and actually advise on the different areas. It gives us really great opportunities as a team to work together and understand that whole movement of how the business is working.
Yeah. Great. So let's talk a little bit more about your department. I'm curious to find out a little bit more. So can you tell us about your department and what it looks like?
Yes, so I've already spoken about compliance, right? So compliance is effectively a mixture of lawyers and non-lawyers who are working with our licenses. We're applying for licenses, we're maintaining them, we're reporting to regulators, we are approving new products, new campaigns, we are setting policies and procedures and making sure that the business obviously is complying with them, following regulatory developments. I mean, again, I can go on, but that is what compliance is about. about.
Yeah.
And then there's the legal side of things. And the legal side of things is, I would say, the more, I call it, the conventional legal affairs. What, obviously, a group of lawyers who are following litigation that we have, commercial negotiations, contract drafting. They're assisting the business in making sure that we are, properly having the right kind of negotiations to obviously protect our business, intellectual property, protecting our brands. That's that. Yeah.
Wow. So what is your philosophy as a leader? You have a big team to take care of.
Yes. Well, I would say that if I have to put it down to one thing, it's the fact that I really like to be inclusive, in the sense that I want the team, no matter the level of experience that they have, to be involved and included in all kinds of projects, even if they are, some sensitive ones or some big ones that are going to have a big impact on the business. I really believe that, we all start from somewhere, and I want to give the opportunity to all my team members to shine.
Yeah.
Of course, I also believe that for team members to shine, they need to dedicate, obviously, they need to put in a lot of hard work. They need to be involved, they need to be interested, and I would say that would get them noticed to make a leader actually decide to involve them in a particular project. So it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah.
And I try to lead by that.
Yeah, great. Now I'm curious to get to know you a little bit better, and specifically a little bit about your background, your career background. So tell us about that. What has it been looking like?
Okay, so, well, I think if I have to be honest with myself, before I met the gaming industry, I wasn't really sure I had made the right career choice. I wasn't really sure I wanted to be a lawyer. I was working in different areas, didn't really like any of it. And then I came across some gaming work in a law firm I was working with, and I loved it. And I knew I wanted to base my career on that. So I specialized in IT law, which was the closest I could get at the time to gaming as such. And after that, a great opportunity came up to join the gaming regulator. And that is where I spent almost 6 years there, working on different areas, of regulatory policy, approving different types of gaming transactions, and that I really enjoyed. Towards the end of my career at the regulator, I also worked on international affairs, and that opened, a whole new area for me, which I really loved. And for a moment there, I think I actually thought I want to do that for the rest of my life, because I really enjoyed it. And then I got to a point where I did get into my comfort zone, and I felt, I need to challenge myself a little bit. A friend of mine at the time told me that there are some interesting legal roles at Betsson. I looked them up, and the rest is history.
Wow, and you've had a very interesting career at Betsson Group as well. Tell us about that.
Yes, well, so I joined in 2017 as the head of regulatory affairs and group compliance, which at the time was right up my alley, because, of course, I was doing all of that just on the other side with the regulator. So I really could kind of understand those areas of the business. Although, of course, it was a totally different ball game. I mean, much more dynamic, much faster, much more pressure. But I liked it. And then a year later, there were some changes within the legal team. And I was promoted to general counsel, which was intense, to say the least. I mean, obviously, there was a lot to do. Of course, I had to build a team, and there was the area of legal affairs, which, as such, I had never yet worked in within Betsson, right? So that was an area I had to take over, understand what the team is doing, and to be able, obviously, to support them and veer them in the right direction. But I think we've come a long way. Almost 3 years have passed now, and it's I'm actually on the verge. Well, last month we actually launched our new structure for the group, for the team, which is basically intended to serve our business better than we already do.
Exciting times. Yeah.
Yes.
So Betsson Group has offices all around the world, but our headquarters are in Malta, the beautiful island of Malta. And Corinne, you're Maltese, born and bred on the island, aren't you?
Yes, I am. And I guess I'm proud of it. And I think you have to be in a company like Betsson, that's so international. But I would say that actually there are more Maltese within Betsson than you think. I think it's more than almost 1/3 of employees are Maltese, and that shouldn't be surprising really, because our operational headquarters are in Malta, of course. But yeah, there's quite a big Maltese cohort in Betsson.
And we are recruiting, as usual, for multiple departments, but also within the legal and compliance team. Corinne, what does the recruitment look like in your team at the moment?
Well, actually, we're recruiting quite heavily at the moment. I mentioned earlier that we have just gone through a bit of a restructure, just to organize ourselves a little bit better, and that has meant, for example, that the legal affairs team has been split into 3 business areas, and we are actually recruiting specialist lawyers for each of those areas. So we're looking for example, payments lawyer, a gaming lawyer, and then we also have, interesting roles in compliance, which basically are a mix of, market compliance and then also tech compliance, AML and responsible gaming compliance. So we have quite a healthy mix of roles out there that obviously I would really be, interested to receive applications from anybody who's listening to us.
Yeah, and if you guys are looking for new opportunities within legal and compliance, check out our careers page. You can read all about the different openings there. And what would you say to someone who is watching this episode and are interested in these roles that you mentioned, or any roles within the legal and compliance team? What would you tell that person?
Yes, well, get in touch. We need to hear from you. We're really excited to build our team with the vision that we have at the moment. Obviously, we're open to all backgrounds, all kinds of experiences. Of course, there are some requirements for the different roles, but we are open. We don't have a set profile in mind. It depends on kind of the passion we see when we actually set up those interviews, and you can tell immediately whether somebody is ready to take initiative and really grow within the team. So I think it's that. Betsson has a great culture. I love it. I've been here now for almost 4 years. I have no regrets. Things keep growing. And I think if there's one point I'd like to make, because a lot of candidates actually, ask me this question. So I would like to make a point of it. Betsson is really interested in your career progression. There are so many examples in-house of people actually progressing within their roles. I mean, the fact that I was even considered for the role of general counsel just 1 year after I entered the company, I think is proof of that, right? And I'm not the only one. There are many other employees that have, progressed within Betsson itself.
I have one last question before we wrap this episode up. And it's an important question. What is your favorite thing about working in iGaming?
I think if I have to put it down to one thing, it's the pace of the industry. It's fast, without putting any effort whatsoever, you are on your toes. You have to keep up to date, because, as I said, in the beginning, if you're not up to date, basically, you are advising the business wrongly. So we need to, you automatically are kept on your toes. We're in the public eye. Gaming is also a sensitive subject from a social aspect, from a social perspective. So we need to make sure that we are taking care, of our customers and our reputation. Ultimately, of course. So that's something that I like about the job.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, if you've seen this show before, you know that I always end with a few fire questions just to get to know our guests a little bit better. So you cannot think about it too much. You just have to answer from what's in your heart, okay? Okay, so the first question is, singing or dancing?
I can't do either, but I would love to sing. And yeah.
Perfect. So what do you prefer, dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Okay, that was an easy one.
That's an easy one, yes.
Reading a book or watching a movie?
Depends on my mood, but let me go with book, because that's how I really switch off.
Okay,
yes.
Good. Do you prefer to be on a boat or on a plane?
Both, but in the sense I do enjoy both, but plane, so that I get to my destination faster and start my holiday. Yes.
So you can travel somewhere a bit quicker.
Yes.
Fruit or vegetables?
Fruit.
Okay.
Yes.
The last one. This is a tricky one. Do you prefer your phone or your computer?
My phone. No, that's an easy one.
That was an easy one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Phone.
Thank you so much, Corinne. It was so great to have you here today, giving us that insight into the legal and compliance department at Betsson Group. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So guys, thank you for today. If you want to tune in to our next episode, you can find out more about it on our LinkedIn page under the events tab. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.